Have you ever felt like your heart is racing for no reason, only to realize it might have been that healthy snack you just ate? If you're struggling with anxiety, there's a good chance your kitchen is making it worse. And today, we're calling out the silent food villains that are feeding your stress. So here's the deal. This video isn't just another list of bad foods. We're diving deep into what foods can literally mess with your brain chemistry, crank up your cortisol, and make your anxiety spiral, even if you think you're eating clean. Some of these are marketed as healthy, which makes them even more dangerous. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to cut out and why. And you'll finally stop guessing why your anxiety seems to spike out of nowhere. Let's start with a question. Have you ever had coffee on an empty stomach and felt like the world was crashing in on you? Yeah, caffeine is one of the first culprits. It's not just about feeling jittery. Caffeine stimulates your central nervous system, which in people with anxiety is already on high alert. Think of it like pouring gasoline on a campfire. One minute you're trying to get through a morning meeting. The next you're convinced the ceiling is caving in because someone used the wrong emoji in a text. Multiple studies, including one from General Hospital Psychiatry, have shown that high caffeine intake increases the risk of panic attacks in people with anxiety disorders. And here's the kicker. Some people process caffeine slower than others due to genetics. So if you're that person who can't sleep even after drinking coffee at noon, it's probably not your imagination. Now, before you throw your coffee machine in the trash, know this. It's not about never having caffeine. It's about understanding your threshold. Some people can handle a cup. Others need to quit cold turkey or switch to decaf or herbal teas like chamomile or lemon balm, both of which actually help reduce anxiety. Next up, and this one hides everywhere, sugar. Not just the sugar in donuts or cookies. We're talking hidden sugar. In yogurt, salad dressings, so-called healthy granola bars, and even pasta sauces. When you eat sugar, your blood sugar spikes, then crashes. That crash mimics anxiety symptoms: shaky hands, rapid heartbeat, dizziness. It's like a mini internal panic attack caused by a cookie, not to mention sugar messes with the gut-brain connection. Your gut and your brain are connected via the vagus nerve, and sugar feeds the bad bacteria in your gut, throwing off that delicate balance. And when your gut's unhappy, guess what? So is your brain. A study published in Scientific Reports found that people who consumed more sugar had higher rates of common mental disorders. Another study from the British Journal of Psychiatry found that a high-sugar diet was linked to depression and anxiety, especially in men. Now here's a surprising one. Gluten and refined carbs. Yeah, I know. Telling someone to ditch bread sounds like blasphemy, but hear me out. White bread, crackers, pizza crusts, pastries. These cause a quick spike in blood sugar followed by a crash. Again, those sugar crashes mimic anxiety. But gluten, specifically, can also trigger inflammation in sensitive individuals. This inflammation has been linked to neurological and psychiatric symptoms, including anxiety. And before you say, "But I'm not celiac," remember, you don't need to have full-blown celiac disease to have a sensitivity. There's something called non-celiac gluten sensitivity, and symptoms include, you guessed it, anxiety, brain fog, and even depression. If you've ever felt unusually anxious after a bowl of pasta, it's worth experimenting with cutting it out for a few weeks and seeing what happens. Okay, next one is a big one, and it hides behind a fun label: artificial sweeteners. Aspartame, sucralose, saccharin. They're in your sugar-free gum, your zero-calorie drinks, and even some protein powders. These chemicals have been shown to mess with your neurotransmitters, especially serotonin, the feel-good brain chemical that keeps your mood stable. According to a study in the journal Research in Nursing and Health, aspartame has been linked to depression, irritability, and yes, anxiety. And here's the part no one tells you. When your brain can't rely on a steady source of serotonin, it starts sending out distress signals. That's when you get those creeping anxious thoughts, the chest tightness, the feeling that something is wrong even when everything is okay. Let's move on to alcohol. I know. You might be thinking, but alcohol helps me relax. Short term, sure. That glass of wine may take the edge off. But long term? Alcohol is a depressant that messes with your brain's neurotransmitters. Once it wears off, your body overcompensates, leaving you feeling more anxious than before. It also messes with your sleep, even if you think you slept fine. Poor sleep plus dehydration plus messed up serotonin levels equals a hot anxiety mess the next morning. And let's not forget about processed meats and foods high in preservatives. We're talking deli meats, bacon, hot dogs, canned soups, frozen meals, anything with sodium nitrates or artificial coloring. These additives increase inflammation in the brain and gut, both of which are directly linked to anxiety. In fact, one study from the Journal of Neuroscience linked high sodium nitrate intake to changes in gut bacteria, leading to anxiety-like behavior in rats. Even MSG, monosodium glutamate, found in a ton of takeout food and snacks, can trigger anxiety in sensitive individuals. You might feel a weird rush of energy after eating Chinese food or chips, followed by a crash or tightness in your chest. That's not just how your body works. That's a chemical reaction. Now here's a sneaky one, fruit juices. Yes, even the 100% real fruit kind. Juice may seem healthy, but it's essentially sugar water with a vitamin label. It lacks fiber, spikes your blood sugar, and crashes it just as fast. Again, triggering the physical symptoms of anxiety: dizziness, irritability, fatigue. If you're craving something sweet, eat the whole fruit instead. An apple, with skin and fiber, releases sugar slowly and keeps your brain happy. Let's talk about another villain: fried foods. French fries, fried chicken, onion rings. Delicious, yes. But these foods are often cooked in processed vegetable oils like canola or soybean oil, which are high in omega-6 fatty acids. While your body needs some omega-6s, too much of them, without balancing with omega-3s, creates inflammation in the brain. And inflammation is a huge factor in anxiety. One study published in Brain Behavior and Immunity found that people with higher inflammation markers also had higher levels of anxiety. It's like your brain is stuck in a constant low-level alarm mode. So now you might be thinking, okay, what am I supposed to eat? Here's the good news. There are foods that actually fight anxiety. But before we get to that in another video, here's the real problem you need to hear. The real problem is that most of these anxiety-triggering foods are considered normal. Coffee in the morning, cereal for breakfast, fast food at lunch, a couple of beers at night. That's not unusual. That's the standard diet in many parts of the world. But that standard diet? It's built on the backs of companies who care more about profits than your mental health. The more you eat processed foods, the more you crave them. The more anxious you get, the more your brain tells you to reach for sugar, caffeine, or booze, thinking it'll calm you down. And so the cycle repeats. You're not broken. Your brain isn't wired wrong. It's just reacting to chemical chaos. The climax of this entire conversation is this: you can't fix anxiety if you keep feeding it. No amount of meditation, deep breathing, or therapy will fully help if your diet is pushing your nervous system to the edge every single day. So if you're serious about getting a handle on your anxiety, the first step isn't another app or affirmation. It's your plate. Clean that up, and you might be shocked at how much calmer your world becomes. Now let's do a quick recap. Avoid or limit these foods if you're dealing with anxiety. Caffeine, especially on an empty stomach. Refined sugar, especially the hidden kind. White flour and gluten-heavy products. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame. Alcohol, processed meats, and preservative-packed foods. MSG fruit juices. Go for the whole fruit instead. Fried foods loaded with vegetable oils. If cutting them all out feels overwhelming, start small. Swap soda for herbal tea. Trade sugary cereal for oatmeal with nuts and berries. Replace white bread with whole grains. Your brain and body will thank you. And if you're still here watching, I know you're ready for real change. So here's your call to action. Tap the next video on screen, where we reveal the best anti-anxiety foods to heal your brain naturally. If this helped you feel even 1% better, go ahead and hit that like button, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more simple ways to upgrade your life every day.